Minimalism. Why you should be a minimalist. Or why you should get rid of all your crap. So to nobody's great surprise, today we're talking about minimalism. Now if you're thinking, minimalism? Why would I want to get rid of my stuff? I paid for it, that's mine. Well, today I'm going to run you through 5 great reasons to do just that. There's probably more, but you know what? Keep it minimal. Number 1, it's easier to clean. Pretty straightforward. You want to dust? You're done. It's a lot harder for your space to become untidy when you have less stuff to actually leave about the place to get untidy, if that makes sense. If you are someone who appreciates a nice, clean aesthetic, then let me tell you, minimalism will be very satisfying. On a side note, it's also a lot easier to find things. You ever open a drawer and it's just full of so much stuff that you can't find the thing that you're actually looking for and it's very frustrating? Well, when you're a minimalist, you open a drawer, there's like 3 things in there. You can find it straight away. Or you don't have it. 2, you save money. And who doesn't like money? No one. I'm gonna give you some quick statistics just to get you into the mindset of this. Now, I'm not American, if you can't tell already. But according to the LA Times, the average American household has over 300,000 items in it. That's a crazy amount of items, guys. According to the US Department of Energy, over 25% of people who have a double-sized garage can't actually fit their cars inside it. They're so full of stuff that doesn't get used that they can't fit their cars in their car holes. The exact purpose of the garage's existence. Let it fulfill its life purpose. Ready for some more? The Wall Street Journal reports that $1.2 trillion is spent every year in America on non-essential goods. To be fair, some of that non-essential goods is probably fairly essential goods, like, you know, gifts. Well, I'd argue against gifts too. These are all American stats because there's probably a lot more research done in Americans because there's a lot more Americans than there are Australians, but anyway, let's keep talking about Americans. And finally, according to the New York Times, 1 in 10 Americans rent extra off-site storage. You got so much stuff that you don't use that you filled up your house and you can't fit anything else in there, so you rent extra space, pay extra money to go put those things in that space. What? Stop wasting money. Now I acknowledge there's going to be exceptions to this. People moving house and they need some offsite storage temporarily before they get in the new place, that's fine. But that's not the point of this video. Just ignore anything that doesn't apply to you. Okay, now that you have that information in your head, you're in probably a bit more in the mindset to hear this stuff. Let's talk about money. Maybe there are times when you think, I don't really need this jumper, but it's kind of cute and it's only $10, so like, what the hell? Stop it. You might think, nah, it's only $10, but that $10 will add up faster than you think. And that's if you're only spending $10. Chances are you're spending a lot more than $10 when you're making these impulse purchases that you'll probably never look at again once you put them in your wardrobe. And let's be honest, after that 30-second high of buying a new thing, you probably don't care about it anymore. Now, I'm not saying you should never buy anything ever, but I am saying be kind of intentional about it. Think about it before you buy it. Do I really need this thing? If you actually needed a new jumper and you found one for $10, great, that's a win. But if you don't need a jumper, if you've already got like 20 and then you find another one for $10, you don't need another jumper, you need less jumpers. You're not saving money, you're still spending money that you don't need to spend. Now for big purchases, I'm pretty sure the minimalists recommend leaving it for 30 days. It could be 30 hours. Not saying you shouldn't buy anything that's expensive, but sit on it for a month, and if after that month you still want to buy it, then maybe then you can go out and get it. Now you may be thinking, Alex, I already bought all this crap. What am I supposed to do with it now? I've already wasted my money. Well, you probably have wasted a bit of your money, but the flip side is you can always sell the things that you've already bought, or try to at least. Some minimalist gurus will tell you, don't bother selling things, just get rid of it while you're on a roll. Nobody wants your crap. People don't want your crap, that's true. And it's important to be able to distinguish between things that actually maybe do have a resale value and things that are just, you're kind of sentimental toward, but they're really not worth anything. It can be a really big mental drain just having things sitting on a shelf waiting to get sold, particularly when you just want to have that minimalist look, that minimalist life, the minimalist surroundings that you're envisioning. Essentially, you gotta weigh up the pros and cons. Is it worth your time and energy? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Not to mention that if you have less stuff, then you can fit into a smaller space. You don't need as big a house. I mean, you can still have one if you want to and just have it be clearer and emptier, but you don't need to. I know couples, as in 2 people, who have rented or bought 4-bedroom plus houses because we need somewhere that will fit all our stuff. Why not pay less rent or mortgage and use that money to go on a holiday? Reason number 3, it helps you appreciate the things that you already have. You may have some items of clothing, for example, that you absolutely loved, But when you were filling your wardrobe up with crap that you don't really care about, they got pushed to the back somewhere and you forgot about them. But during a minimalist purge, they have been unearthed, and so has your love for them. And they make the cut and they go back into your normal circulation of clothing, and then you appreciate them all the more again. It's like getting something new, but it's not new. It's kind of like how really rich people are just unhappy anyway, because whenever they want something, they just get it straight away and then nothing's really special. Kind of like this Adventure Time meme. Plus, when you have less stuff, you waste a lot less time on making decisions. Which book should I read? Well, there's only this many to choose from as opposed to shelves and shelves. Which t-shirt should I wear? Well, they're all black, so it doesn't matter. Just wear whichever one's clean. The point is, having less stuff saves a lot of mental energy. There's research that says we can only make so many choices throughout the day before we reach a state of just mental fatigue. While with minimalism, this happens less. Number 4, freedom. Are you someone who's afraid of commitment? Then minimalism is for you! But seriously, if you're someone who travels a lot but doesn't like being weighed down, it's pretty bloody great. One of the main driving factors that got me into minimalism in the first place was the fact that I was moving from Melbourne, Australia, to London, UK, and I had a lot of crap and I couldn't take it with me. Prior to this point in my life, I would classify myself as a hoarder. Not at the time, but looking back on it now, yeah. But I got rid of a bunch of stuff, and I was really impressed with myself at the time. Less so now, but it was a really good start. So on my way to moving to England, I spent 5 months traveling around Europe with my duffel bag on wheels and my backpack. And even that, I was completely over by the time I was done. There's lots of cobblestones in Europe. So for all my trips since, I've tried to pack as lightly as possible. So for a 5 to 7 day trip around about, I will bring my Herschel backpack. For a weekend or long weekend getaway, I will get by with my Belroy satchel. Anything longer than that, like an overseas trip, I will bring a suitcase, but I'll try and just bring one of those real small suitcases that still fits in my overhead baggage compartment. And this is great because it saves you A, baggage fees, B, check-in time, C, actually having to lug your suitcase around the airport and whatever destination it is that you're heading to. It makes the whole travel experience so much less stressful. And, again, saves money. For the finale, number 5. When you declutter your environment, you declutter your brain. It's probably not going to be the case that the act of getting rid of your stuff is suddenly going to make you happy. Although it might. It may be more of a case of slowly realizing that happiness isn't going to come from stuff, isn't going to come from buying stuff. So we should really stop trying. So if you cut down the stuff in your life to only that which brings you joy or serves a purpose, or as the minimalist would say, adds value to your life, when you look around yourself, you won't be surrounded by meaningless stuff. You'll see things that make you happy, or that have a functional purpose in your life. And you're constantly seeing these things day by day instead of just meaningless clutter. Another huge thing that I've noticed as someone with anxiety is literally just having less stuff, less clutter, makes my brain feel less cluttered. If I wake up in the morning in a clean minimalist room, my mind is much more likely to be like, good morning, as opposed to, "Ugh." I'm not just BSing here. According to psychologist Tim Kasser, minimalist homes have a positive impact on people's well-being because it gets rid of unnecessary stimuli that burdens the brain. This kind of simplicity is so powerful that it also promotes pleasant emotions. Thank you, carla.com.au, for that information. My last sub-point here is that we often use consumerism, buying stuff, as a means of distraction. We're feeling shitty about something, maybe we're anxious about something that's happening at work, but we're not going to deal with that. No. We're going to do some retail therapy. Even just going online and doing some digital window shopping can be a great means of distraction. I still do this sometimes, looking online at products, being like, that'd be nice. Ooh, it's so ingrained. Honestly, when you stop using shopping as a means of distraction, it can be hard. Unless you immediately start distracting yourself with something else like Netflix. Guilty. But eventually, you start to confront the things in your life that are making you unhappy and hopefully start making some positive changes. I think a lot of people are facing this at the moment with the virus lockdowns because it's giving them time to really look at their lives and they're like, I've definitely been doing it. So to summarize, that is 5 reasons you might consider becoming a minimalist. Firstly, it is easier to clean or to keep clean. Having less stuff means less stuff to maintain. 2, you save money, either by selling the things you have or by not buying them in the first place. 3, you appreciate the things you do have instead of forgetting that they exist. 4, you're not tied down by things. You're free to move. Go wherever the wind takes you. 5, a less messy environment might just mean a less messy brain. Maybe. Of course, you don't have to be a minimalist, but it might be something worth considering. Minimalizing your stuff can be a long process and it can feel super daunting. But minimalism is the process. It's not a destination. It's not like one day you can say, I'm a minimalist now because I've done this checklist of things. Tell you what though, minimalizing gets super addictive. You start off like, maybe I'll just do a single drawer, and then suddenly you've done the entire house. And you think, I couldn't possibly get rid of another item, lest I be a naked man sitting on the ground in an empty room by myself. And then like a month later you go back and you do another color and you're like, how do I have this much stuff? Why did I keep this? Thank you for watching. If you'd like to get more hard minimalist tips from me, click on that circle with my face in it to subscribe to my channel. This is a new channel, so I need to build up that loyal subscriber base. And that could be you. All right, bye.